ThreatMetrix is in the business of authenticating digital identities. We help you fight fraud and reduce friction. We answered 3 questions for you. How do your customers interact with your website? Who your customer is? And how has this customer behaved in the past? We do this using our 4 layers of defense: device, threats, persona, and behavior. We provide you with a comprehensive risk assessment at all the points where your end users interact with your website. This could be a login page, sign-up page, or payment page. Basically, at any point where trust matters to you. Our implementation is a 2-step process. Step 1 is where we profile the end user device and generate a fingerprint and look for anomalies. Step 2 is when you make an API call with the persona-related details you want to get historical and contextual information on, and we respond with our own risk assessment. We answer 3 questions using the 4 layers of defense. When the end user visits your website, we can communicate with the device and tell you the source of the transaction, whether it's an iOS, Android, or Windows PC. In the nutshell, we are fingerprinting the device. We generate our own device fingerprint based on the device-related attributes using our patented technology. This is our competitive differentiator, and it remains persistent and consistent. We can tell you if there are any threats related to the device, like if the user is hiding behind a proxy or VPN, if the user is using a rooted device, or if the user is using a Tor network by detecting anomalies from the network. This is the first step, looking at the source of the transaction and focusing on the first 2 layers of defense, which are the device and the network. This is how we answer the first question: how does the end user interact with your website? The second step involves making an API call. At any point where you are ready to make a decision, you make an API call with the persona-related details, and we give you information around the 3rd layer of defense based on the persona information which you share with us. This is where we answer the second question: who the persona is. We are looking for the relationship and association between identity details, the device, and the network. This is what we call the persona. If the persona visiting your website is showing any kind of deviation from past behavior from within our network, which contains historical and contextual information, this would be a red flag. This is where our 4th layer of defense comes into the picture, where we look for reputation around multiple attributes. Our digital identity network is a repository of billions of transactions we are profiling every month. All the data we collect is anonymized and encrypted with a private key. Let's now look at a live API call. The page that you see on the screen is a simulation of any page you would like to profile. ThreatMetrix will provide you with a risk assessment for this transaction. On the left-hand side are the details you will be needing for the API call. I will autofill in the details of a good user, and then autofill in details of a bad user. Let's see what happens to the API response. While we are doing this, we are evaluating the transaction in real time, making a call to our production environment. While I am filling in the details of a good user, ThreatMetrix is fingerprinting the device and detecting for any anomalies. This is the first step of the implementation. The moment you would like to make sure the end user, who the end user is claiming to be, you will make the API call. We respond with a policy score, reasons why the score is what it is, and also hundreds of data attributes around the 4 layers of defense. All of this happens in 300 milliseconds, essentially in real time. The policy score is a summation of the scores associated with the rules which get triggered during the session. The reason code is a summary of the rules getting triggered. In this case, the score is 75. And based on this score, the business has decided to pass the transaction. We follow a transparent white box approach. We serve you up with all the data along with the score so you can make your own decision based on your own risk appetite. We are currently looking at the summary. Let's take a look at the detailed risk assessment. It's a long list of hundreds of attributes around the 4 layers of defense. Let's go back and profile a bad user now. I'm on the same device and same network. I'm just changing the persona details, which in turn will change the behavior. While I am autofilling the details of a bad user, I'm being profiled by ThreatMetrix. When I click on the Go button, you make an API call and we respond back with the score, reason codes, and hundreds of data attributes. The score has gone down drastically only because of the persona layer, since the device and network were the same. This shows the power of sharing the persona-related details. Any data that you share with us is anonymized and encrypted with a private key only you have access to. On the screen, you can see examples of rules that got triggered. The rules are highly customizable. You will have access to our flexible decisioning engine to customize your own rules. You will have access to all the data within our portal. You can save the data in a blob and use it for future reference. If you want more details, please contact your account director and we will be happy to set you up with a technical demo.